Good morning, y'all. It is day 172 on the Appalachian Trail. I'm leaving the Rainbow Spring Lean-To, and we were right beside that roaring creek. That was kind of nice, having that easy access to water. Got to wash my head and face a little bit, and just the sound of it while I was sleeping was nice. Getting an early start this morning. It's about 6:30 leaving, and there were a lot of campers, a lot of tenters there last night. A lot of people are, like I said, kind of jockeying for position to find a place tonight, as well as probably try to summit tomorrow. I don't know how they'll manage that. Supposedly they limit how many people can go up there in a day, but it's supposed to rain day after tomorrow, so there's a lot of people don't want to hike up there in the rain. And if it's really bad rain, the rangers won't let people go up there anyway. So you're kind of stuck there for a day or two waiting to summit. And I already have a flight purchased to go home, so I can't really hang around. Well, I guess I could. I'd have to change my flight or get another one. So our plan is we're going to hike today 15 miles and get to Able Bridge, which is kind of the last stopping place at the base of Katahdin. There's the ranger station there, the entrance into Baxter State Park, and where you get your permits, all this other stuff. And we're still toying with the idea of what we're going to do. Rocky Man's son is driving in tonight from Portland, Maine, and he is trying to secure a place at the campground there. If that happens, then we'll have a place to store our gear and his car and all that good stuff. So that's a lot of logistics to be worked out still, and we won't get reception today until we get to Rainbow Ledges, which is about 9 miles away. So there's a lot of stuff that goes in these last few days, that's for sure. Just trying to, watch the weather and where do you camp the last night. And there's not a lot of stealth places to camp. And the state park rangers are pretty stringent on where people can camp. And they have escorted people out of the park, and people have not been able to summit. So, yeah. You got to kind of follow the rules. Also, my good friend Pop Tart from way back in Connecticut said he was going to come up and be camping up in this area this week, and he might try to summit with me as well. I kind of communicated to him that the weather had forced us to go a little earlier, so I haven't heard back from him. I don't know where he is exactly, and like I said, there's no way to call or text out here in the 100-mile wilderness. And that's it. Just kind of getting everything lined up. But today is our really last day of hiking. We'll just get to Able Bridge and then figure out where we're going to stay tonight. We'll probably get up early in the morning, not carry full gear, because we're just going to the top of Katahdin and turn around coming right back down. So we'll have to have a lighter pack for that, obviously. It'd be silly to carry my tent and sleeping bag and all that up there when I'm not staying the night up there. And then I have another friend, John, who is going to be driving in, and he's going to pick me up tomorrow after we summit. He lives near Bangor, Maine, and hopefully I'll stay with him and his wife Nancy and hang out with him for a day before I fly home. So that's what I'm working on. So full day, just a lot of roots and rocks like I'm walking on now. It's pretty flat all the way to Able Bridge, which is, I think there's one 500-foot climb, but nothing major. And that's about it. So let's get going. As I end my hike here on the Appalachian Trail the next couple of days, I wanted to pay a tribute to all of those who came before me. Each year, thousands of hikers attempt the through hike of the Appalachian Trail, and only about 20% make it all the way to completion in a calendar year. The first reported through hiker was Earl Schaefer in 1948. He was a World War II veteran, and he said he was walking the Army out of his system. He was probably seeking therapy from PTSD. He chose the northbound route from Georgia to Maine because he wanted to walk with spring as it warmed and the flowers bloomed. In 1965, he did it again, but this time he went southbound. And in 1998, 50 years after his first success, at the ripe age of 79, he became the oldest through hiker, a distinction he held until 2004. Mildred Norman was the first female who did a flip-flop in 1952. But Emma Grandma Gatewood, a mother of 11 children and a grandmother of 23, completed her through hike in 1955 at the age of 69. In 1964, she became the first person to complete it 3 times. Amazingly, she was famous for wearing only her Pro Kids tennis shoes. There have been lots of people with disabilities to complete it, but it was Bill Irwin who completed it in 8 months in 1990, having fallen over 1,000 times, suffered from hypothermia, and cracked several ribs. He was 50 years old and the first blind person who relied solely on his German Shepherd named Orient. The pair were known as the Orient Express. The 1960s saw 38 through hikers, but the 1970s brought more people to appreciate the outdoors, and the longest increased by 24, with 793 finishing the AT that year. Each decade since has seen the number double, although the last 5 to 6 years have seen this number plateau. Hey y'all, so day 172 is coming to the end. My last full day on the Appalachian Trail. Camping here at Able Bridge Campground. Rocket Man obviously is here and his son drove up. So we had a car and we're able to go into Millinocket and have dinner together. And then, yes, lo and behold, Pop-Tart, my friend back in Connecticut, drove up. He's been up here multiple times. I think he summited Katahdin like 8 times. So he wanted to come up and test out his knee and hike a little bit in late summer. And so he chose these days that I'm here. And believe it or not, I was walking down the trail and he was coming up the trail at me. He figured he knew where I was and he was right. And it was like, wait, there's Pop-Tart. I couldn't believe it. And so then he turned around and we walked all the way back down here to the campground and he's tenting here as well. So it all worked out. And hopefully we'll all get to summit together tomorrow. Rocket Man and his son and I are going to get up and try to be on trail by 5 a.m. There is a storm coming. It's some kind of real storm, like from the North Atlantic coming over. And it's going to really rain a lot on Thursday. So we made the right decision moving it up to Wednesday, which is tomorrow, August 17th. But everything we've looked at shows that it will be raining probably by 2 or 3 o'clock. So we want to get up there and summit and then start back down that treacherous incline because it is steep. We're basically around 600 feet of elevation where we are right now. And it's a beautiful sunset there. But if I turn this way, there is Katahdin. 5,200 feet. So it's 5 miles once we get over there to the start up the mountain. And I think when we get over to the mountain, it's about 1,100 feet. So we're going to have about over 4,000 feet elevation gain over those 5 miles. So it's going to be a big day. But we want to get up and summit and then get back down before that storm hits, obviously, around 2 or 3. They're calling for a lot of rain and wind gusts of 40 to 50 miles an hour. So have to take that serious. We will store all our gear in Rocket Man's son's car, Jared. And so we'll have just day packs. We'll just have water and snacks. But we're excited, but it is a little treacherous, as you can see over here. And it's quite the mountain to look at. It's kind of daunting, intimidating. But we're right here on the Penobscot River. Beautiful sunset behind me. Nice way to close out the last night on trail. And I will do a summation tomorrow after my summit, and then I'll probably do one more in a few days after I get home and all that, just for a wrap up. So yeah, today's video and one tomorrow, and then one more as a wrap up, just to say so long to everybody. But thanks again for everybody for hanging in there. I got one more day, and I hope you've had fun. Tried to keep them short, keep them interesting with the history, and show you some good sights, and be as vulnerable as I could with my feelings and what I'm seeing, what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. My two worst days were several weeks ago: the rain in the Kinsmans in the White Mountains, and then the next day that Franconia Ridge. And those 4 mountains really took the wind out of my sails. But I was really thankful for, Rocky Man, other hikers coming to my support, my wife, friends that knew I was having a tough time, and then all of the viewers sending nice comments. So I made it, and I'm grateful to be here, and I'm excited. But I'm also ready for this to be over and go home and see my wife and, have a normal day-to-day life and not sleeping out of a tent or worried about filtering my water or carrying toilet paper in my pants or whatever. So, yeah, I'm tenting right here and getting to look at Katahdin the whole time. So should be a nice evening. But again, thanks for everybody for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, Katahdin. See you tomorrow. Good night, y'all. Bye-bye.